Monterey's Cookin Pisto style is brought to you by California Seafood. Good for California, good for you.
Hi, welcome to Monterey's Cooking. I'm John Pisto. We're on Monterey's commercial wharf. This is where all the fishing boats come in. This is where all the unloading happens. Folks, this is a live pier. See, look at these guys going by here with all this stuff going on. I mean, there is stuff going on here constantly. Okay, what we're going to be looking for today is some swordfish. I want to show you some beautiful premium California swordfish. So the guys at Monterey Fish are waiting for us. I got a bunch of fishermen, real colorful guys. You can see one of the big boats is firing up now. I tell you, this place is alive, man. When there's fish being caught in, this place jumps. Let's go talk to the boys at Monterey Fish. Wow, look at the size of these. What are these, about 200-300 pounders, Sal?
They're close to 200 pounds here, John.
This is Sal Tringali, okay, part of the Monterey Fish. Of course, you met Pete outside.
Hi.
Okay. Sal, these are, I mean, look how fresh these are. I mean, these are handled so beautifully now. I mean, you can see it's, I mean, just fresh as can be, you know?
These swordfish, John, a lot of TLC in handling California swordfish. You know, they're the best.
It is, and you know, the restaurants are very, very particular. You know, we get the fish in, it has to be absolutely perfect, otherwise we don't serve it, you know? But this is gorgeous. Sal has been nice enough. They're gonna cut this for us, and we're gonna take it home. And I mean, this is like cutting a big Christmas cake or something. And okay, Peter, go ahead, give it the shot.
You guys are gonna enjoy this.
He's
for
gonna
dinner.
cut this right. Look at this. Nobody gets this kind of treatment. I tell you, Monterey Fish, folks. Look at this, incredible. Wow. Whoa! Look at this now. Look at that. I mean, I can't. I'm
that
speechless.
beautiful or what?
I'm speechless.
That beautiful?
This
Just
has,
look at that beautiful red bloodline.
it has all the criteria for fresh fish, all right? When you buy swordfish, this is what you look for. You never buy fish that this is turned real brown, okay, or dark red. That shows that it's very old. The meat also has to be very fine textured, which it is. I mean, just look at it. It's beautiful. I mean, absolutely beautiful. With this kind of fish, the least you do to it, probably the better it's going to taste. I mean, simple barbecue, a little lemon on it, salt and pepper, it'll be out of this world. But I'm going to show you several recipes, okay? How about if you give us a slab of this, we'll take it home, and I'll cook it. How's that?
We'd be happy to, John.
How about something like that?
Give them a little bit more, because once they start eating this fish, they're not gonna stop.
Now, you notice Peter should have been a surgeon, folks. He missed his calling. Look at that. Que bello. Oh, my God. Who's going to touch us, folks? Look at that. Look at this. Now, that's a piece of fish. Que bellezza. Huh? You ever seen anything so beautiful?
Beautiful,
I mean, that is gorgeous.
I'm proud of the cutting.
Huh? Absolutely finest in the world. Okay, I'm starting to get hungry. We got to go home and cook this stuff. Very good. Okay, we'll see you at the house. Wasn't that the most interesting trip? I tell you, I love going down to the wharf. The wharf has got to be one of the most exciting. Before I get too carried away, let me introduce you to a very, very nice man. His name is Aiden Coburn. Aiden,
John, thank you for inviting me.
welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Now, Aiden has some real credentials, folks. He's, first of all, president of the California Seafood Council. Plus, you have your own company called Fairlawn Fisheries of the Bay Area.
That's correct.
Plus, he's probably one of the most knowledgeable people that knows about seafood in the world. And he's got a hell of a sense of humor, too.
Too kind.
His sense of humor is incredible. Great speaker. I had him come today because I wanted him to talk about the swordfish. Now this is that remember we cut it on the wharf. I want to talk about the swordfish a little bit and just tell people what swordfish really is, okay?
Well, I'm sure the camera can pick up the beauty of this piece of fish you see here before us. It's California premium swordfish, and by that I mean it's swordfish that shows up off the California coast every year in the beautiful condition you see it here before you. Now, as you know, swordfish is a highly migratory species, and it's probably got more pedigree, I should say, in history to it than most other fish in the ocean. But we'll let the flavor do the talking when we get round to your mastery here.
Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try to do as many dishes as we can here, and I need 2 nice big steaks. Now, a swordfish steak. When you say a steak, it can't be one of these little wimpy things. I mean, you know, I go to places.
Minimum 1 inch. John.
Absolutely. It's like having a T-bone or something. You can't have a thin T-bone. Same thing with swordfish.
True.
It's got to be thick. Otherwise, it dries out. I don't care how good the cooks are, you know. And I make sure that in the restaurants, I make sure the guys, hey, the swordfish has got to be real thick.
Well, apart from the beauty of the flavor, John, one of the great thrills of eating a piece of swordfish is that resistance to the bite you get when you bite into the thickness you're talking about.
Well, a lot of people compare this to meat, to veal, that has that texture.
Yeah,
in a way.
Being a seafood guy, I kind of don't want to say veal, but I know what you mean.
They're saying, well, it's, what would you say this is more like meat than it is fish?
It's got a steak-like texture to it, you know, that you associate with filet mignon. It's got as tender as that.
Now you're getting into my stuff now.
Absolutely.
Okay, well that, you know, a lot of people are afraid to eat fish. You know, when I do my classes with children, you'd be surprised how many kids have never even tasted fish. If somebody's a beginner and you want to taste something for the first fish for the first time, you taste this, you're going to be sold.
I would recommend it.
It's an easy
It
one.
has a very mild, sweet flavor to it.
And wait till you see how easy it's going to be. Okay, Aiden, I need 2 slices. We're going to do a Sicilian one, and I'm going to do 2 steaks. So we're going to cut me some beautiful steaks, and I'm going to get ready. First one's going to be a ratatouille. Now, Aiden, you fished before, correct?
Not commercially, John, in the sense, but I've worked in the seafood industry since I was a young man. In fact, my grandmother sold fish off a horse and cart in Ireland, and my mother helped her as a child.
Now that's not a yarn, now, is it?
No, it's not.
That's not the blarney, is
No,
it?
it's not.
Okay.
No, truthfully, it is not. But no, I grew up in the seafood industry, and as you did yourself. But it's just something it's in your blood. You know,
Well, folks,
I think the industry chooses you. I don't think you choose it.
we've worked together at some places where we're invited to speak, and believe me, this man knows his stuff. That's just incredible amount of knowledge. Okay, how's that coming over there?
Beautifully, John.
Look at that. That's gorgeous.
John,
Now,
I've taken all the skin and all the bloodline off it for the reason that if you look at it, bring tears to a glass eye. I'm not kidding. It's that good.
That's gorgeous.
I'll leave it here for
It
you.
really is. Now, the other one, I'm going to have you cut them thin because I'm going to roll them. So, yeah, why don't you talk about that line a little bit?
Well, the bloodline, as you can see, John, is really a birthday card when it comes to freshness. When you can see a bright cherry red bloodline like we have right here, that's a pure indicator of just how fresh this fish is and how, you know, very little time it's been out of the water. I did mention the word premium a little while ago.
Yes.
And the premium meaning that it's a fish that was caught very, very quickly and landed very quickly, you know, on shore after the vessel caught it.
Right.
And it really, I mean, you can smell it. It just smells so beautiful. You'd want to eat it as sashimi right now. It's that good. You know?
Well, let's talk about that in a minute. Now, can you eat swordfish as sashimi? Let's make sure people know this, because you know what? A lot of people are experimenting with stuff now. You should be real careful with raw fish. This is not one you should be eating raw, correct?
I wouldn't recommend it, but I mean, to be very, very honest with you, John, there's no data anywhere that ever said that, you know, eating raw swordfish was poor for you. Certainly salmon and rockfish fillet, if you will, are fish that I would not want to eat raw. But, you know, this stuff is so beautiful. I'd eat it.
Yeah?
I would. I'd recommend it.
Okay. Well, I've seen it where they've cooked it in lime juice or lemon juice,
Yeah.
and then, you know, then that's a
citrus
little
cooking?
different. Yes.
Yeah.
That's nice stuff.
Certainly,
Okay.
you could. That's like a ceviche.
Right.
Now, you wanted something that you wanted to roll. You were indicating.
Yeah.
I'll just toss this away. So you want
Let's maybe cut from here and just give me nice thin slices. Okay, let me explain what I've done here. What I've added is equal amounts of zucchini, yellow and green, some eggplant, some shallot, some onion, a pinch of garlic, one fresh tomato. I mean, I'm going to show you how easy this is. Oh, and I need the steak. Forgot the meat. Okay. Now, what I like to do is I rub these guys down. All right, then I season them with a little bit of salt. And then I use a product that I've got called Sensational Seasoning, which has all the flavors I need, and I just drop it on there. Just like that, okay? Okay, I'm putting a few capers in there. I got fresh peas. We had a real pea picker here today, you know. Okay, that'll work great. All right. Okay, these
kind
are
of what
big
you
guys. I'm going to cut them in half again.
Sure.
And then I'm going to stuff them.
Oh,
I'm going to stuff them and roll them. I mean, this is the national dish of in Sicily. You ever been to Sicily?
no, John. I would like to go though.
Well, you know the Straits of Messina is a breeding ground for the Mediterranean swordfish, and you get many fish there.
Well, you know, you can imagine, John, that a swordfish has a varied diet, and that accounts for the incredible flavor.
What do they eat?
Well, you know, they're not as discriminating as some other species. They will eat different fin fish, and they will, of course, eat shrimp. They will eat squid. But they're an interesting fish. They go deep at night to eat, and then find their way to the surface the next morning to, if you will, swim in warmer water so that they can digest all that meal they ate the night before, and that's how the harpooner sees them on the top of the water.
Wow.
A lot of folks think that they're sunbathing, but actually they're not. They're just digesting the big meal they had from the night before.
So, swordfish are harpooned.
Well, they're caught in a number of ways. They're caught certainly by long line, they're caught by harpoon, and they're caught by what we would call a drift net, which is really a very productive way of catching it. It's a net, if you will, that is placed below the surface, about 30 feet below the surface, specially weighted, specific mesh size, about 20 inches,
Yeah.
and strategically placed.
Right.
And in fact, these nets even have electrical devices on them known as pingers, which give off a ping which tells mammals to, like, you know, stay away from here.
And that's working very successfully.
Very successfully,
So
gentlemen.
all these fears we hear about stuff getting caught, I mean, the industry is really going out of its way and abiding and even coming up with their own solution to these problems.
John, you were a fisherman. You know they have more to lose than anybody. That's why they take care of the
Exactly.
Now,
Look at that.
There's your stuff. Beautiful. Good
Isn't
Lord.
that beautiful?
Absolutely.
Not bad, huh?
Grill marks are fantastic.
The way I like to tell fish is done, I just peer inside. You see that? Just cooked through. Just perfect. Aiden, you say something, fish. You get a nice thing. What was it?
I said, you know, you can pretty much cook fish any way you want, so as long as you don't overcook it.
Right on.
And that's what I believe.
Okay, look how easy. How long did that take us, Aiden?
Oh, a couple of minutes, John. It's really wonderful.
I mean, look at this.
Oh,
Bingo. Then we give it a little sauce. And folks,
it's a pity the camera can't pick up the aroma as much as
I
it does
know.
the beauty of it visually.
and that's it. We decorate it with some fresh lemon. Folks, we are in business. Okay, when we come back, we're going to show you another quick one. All right? You know, the thing we talked about where we said it tastes like beef, it has that beef flavor. That's why I'm gonna team it up with mushrooms.
Sounds fantastic.
So let's do that. You know,
There you
I
go, John.
always like to season them. I rub a little oil on them. Do you do it this way?
Yes, I do, John.
A little bit of this, a little bit of that. Look at that nice frying pan. Both sides. I like to use sea salt. Do you?
Well, yes and no, John. It depends on, you know, what I'm cooking, as the fella says. But, you know, this is like California cuisine with California swordfish. I mean, it doesn't get any better.
It doesn't. Oh, right there. Okay, so I'm just going to throw, literally, this is going to be flash cooking. For people who are starving when they come home from work and they can't wait to eat because they're so hungry, they're dizzy. Italians get that way. Irish get that way too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. In Ireland, we say an empty sack won't stand. But then again, a full one won't bend. So you got both ways of looking at it.
He's got a million of them.
And that's not Blarney, John, either. I promise.
Okay. Get a spatula. So I got 4 different varieties. I got a portobello. Now, the portobello I roasted off. Don't try to cook the portobello like this. It'll make everything real black. Okay, that goes here. We'll throw some parsley in there and a little bit of oregano and just chop it. Okay, now look how fast this cooks. Now this is easy. Now everybody's got a frying pan at home. Look at that.
John, this absolutely lends credence to the true image of seafood as the original fast food.
You got it.
I mean, this is how fast it can be cooked.
Look at this. And I put this seasoning. The seasoning has about 18 things in it.
Oh,
brings tears to your heart.
Let's not use that again. I'm sorry I used it the first time.
Okay.
But, you know, you were talking earlier about the knowing when it's cooked. It's amazing that you can see the colors of cooking. You can see the physical flesh color change before your very eyes, like halfway up almost, and flip it over and halfway up. And if they are pan frying sincerely, at 1 inch thick, 5 minutes on each side, like 10 minutes to the inch.
Okay.
It's a good rule of thumb.
Okay. And that's on your stoves at home. This is, I got a blast furnace under here.
Right, but even if you're cooking at home, it's, or even on a barbecue grill, good way to go.
Very easy. Okay, you see what? We just seasoned this real lightly. I mean, Jesus, Aiden, this is, I mean,
any simpler and a child could do it.
I mean, I think maybe I could get a child to do this.
I think so. Well,
you know,
responsible around heat.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to put a lot on this because it's going to be 2 servings. I mean, look at that. And then we're going to make a real easy sauce for that. Look at that. Look at that. Does that look gorgeous? Okay, hold that for me. Put a little shallot, some capers, a little bit of olive oil. We'll give it a little lemon juice, not too much. And then, you know, you got to use the butter once in a while. You got to use the butter. We swish it around. And we just want this to barely cook. Okay, done. Bingo! That's
Beautiful,
number 2.
John.
How are we doing, folks? Okay, we're going to do one more when we come back. We're starting with some shallot. Oil. This is probably the best way I've ever seen swordfish cooked, Aiden, and it's in Sicily. And boy, everyone has their own way of doing it. You see the breadcrumbs there. We got currants in there, and pine nuts, and a lot of olive oil, and a little bit of cheese. And then what I'm doing to it is putting
Well, John, I can only
peppers.
say to you that
Yes.
you mentioned earlier about the Mediterranean sword, but this is California swordfish at its very, very finest.
It is.
I mean,
fresh,
really
isn't
and
it?
truly. It
really
truly is. I mean, this is fish that is a short trip fish. It's landed quickly, and the product quality, just look at it. It reflects all of the beautiful handling it got, and sincerely, the speed with which it left the ocean and actually got to the market.
Okay, what I've done is got some skewers, and I wet them first. You know, you always soak yours?
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, good. Because they'll end up burning up. Okay, put a piece of bay leaf, piece of onion, and you get the skewer. Piece of bay leaf, a piece of onion. This takes a little bit more work, but it's not that bad. Now, I think the fishmonger would cut the swordfish for you, don't you think?
He would if you asked.
Absolutely.
Yes.
In fact, this would give you better portion control, wouldn't it?
Indeed it would, John.
There's 3. Okay, that's it. Okay, folks, I'm telling you, this has to be one of the fastest shows I've ever did in my life. But you know, it's a lot of fun, and you see how easy it is to cook fish. Aiden, you know, you've been absolutely fantastic.
Thank you,
Look
John.
at that.
These are absolutely fabulous.
Doesn't it look beautiful? And this is the easiest thing in the world to do. I mean, this was in the last half of our show. If I had the full show, I bet I could have done 12 dishes. Just to show you how versatile swordfish really is, and how delicious. We're going to find out how delicious it is in a minute. But Aiden, I want to thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, John. It's a great honor and a pleasure.
There was one thing else you wanted to mention about swordfish.
I would honestly ask your audience to, when they go to buy swordfish, to ask for short trip swordfish, which we call California premium swordfish, which means, 3 to 5 days, it's back at the dock, it's on your table, it's fantastic.
All right.
Thanks, John.
Thank you, folks. Aiden, thank you.
Great pleasure.
Great
Thanks
show.
very much indeed. Thank you.